this should be the 1955 last job for the, we can't even call it spring anymore because we're well into summer, but the 1955 last job for a while. Get this done, then the duals can come off, so that'll make a little more room in the barn. But I went and got me a whole whopping 620 pounds of fertilizer. Feed the hay a little bit. Gonna start here, spreading a little light, and then that way if I got extra I can put it on the other field, because the other field needs it way worse than this does. But it's kind of funny, you can tell, because this whole top area was all matted down, and you can tell the wind had it all laid down in that direction, because you can tell right down to the pass where I was cutting that direction and cutting this direction and cutting this direction. It was getting under it and cutting it off nice, and that side it was, because it was all laid over that way. But all in all, it doesn't look nearly as bad as I thought it would, so second cutting will make it look nicer. But we're gonna get this spread out, and then it's a nice calm evening, so probably gonna try to go get a little bit more corn ground sprayed. Only got 2 fields left, so should be able to finish up corn tomorrow, provided it's not raining. So we technically got chances of scattered storms every single day this week, so it's kind of hard to plan around that. Because these hills, it's kind of hard to turn. got just like a hair under half a tank. Once I get cleaned out and switched over to beans, before I spray my first load of beans, I gotta replace this sight hose because it's so tarnished and stained that you can't really see anymore, which is a little unhandy. But it's been on there for, how long have I been running this sprayer? 10 years? I was still in college when I put it together, if I remember right, so it's been a minute. So I got all my stuff. It's been agitating while I've been bringing everything up here, so let me get filled up here and we'll head on out. This was the last field of corn planted. It's already V2. Yeah. Doesn't quite have a full second collar yet, so it's like V1, V2. But this is up out of the ground, and I went past my uncle's while we were spreading fertilizer on the hay, and I'll have to actually drive out to the field and see for sure, but it looks like I saw some green strips from the road, which if that's the case, that means the beans are up out there. So if beans are up out there, that means everything is up out of the ground. At least everything that the deer haven't ate, which I'm guessing with the 12 acres, and I probably got at least 16 acres of deer, of probably deer obliteration. But anyhow, get this sprayed, and then we will be down to just the muck to finish up for corn. pretty decent headway. That just leaves the muck left. I'm pretty sure that just leaves the muck left. I don't think I skipped anything. But I tell you what, for only having a ½ inch of rain on it yesterday, it was a lot greasier out here than I thought it'd be. Mostly just in the wet spots that are normally wet, but I didn't figure that those would even be an issue. But I left a couple of ruts, mostly over on the other side. But that's one of the many things I love about spraying with that tractor and sprayer, is it is so freaking light that you can just about get away with murder. I mean, some of the stupid places that you can take that thing and not get stuck, I have yet to have that tractor and sprayer stuck. Never done it. I've been close, but she's always managed to waller her way out. And I don't know how, because there ain't hardly any tread left on the tires. The other tire's pretty much bald. That's one of the things for this fall, is that thing needs new rear rubber on it. I was hoping to do it last year, it just didn't work out. And this spring, the Super 55 needed it more than it did, because like I say, I was worried about them tires exploding on me while I was raking hay or something. So she's next on the list for tires. But anyhow, weather permitting, hopefully tomorrow we can finish up the muck, and I'll still have enough time to get the sprayer cleaned out and switch to beans, and weather permitting we can switch to beans on Wednesday. Would be ideal, because man, I got some beans that are pretty nasty. So anyhow, like I say, hopefully tomorrow we'll catch you on the muck. All right, we're gonna finish up spraying corn today. It's last time we saw you was Monday, and I was hoping to finish up spraying Tuesday. Well, today's Wednesday, so yesterday we had a thunderstorm blow through just briefly right before, right around lunch, and after that it was nuts how windy it got. There was no way you were going to get down here and do anything about it. But we'll be able to finish up today. It's a little breezy down here. There ain't a leaf moving back home, but there's never a moment when there's not at least a little bit of a breeze down here, just because it's so wide open. But I'm going to drop the nurse tank and my chemicals here, and actually I want to take this with the truck, and then go back and grab the tractor and sprayer. Oh, Teeter, Lily, leave that killdeer alone, dang it. Killdeer have to be about the dumbest. I mean, there aren't really too many birds that are all that bright to begin with, but killdeer have to be about the dumbest. Full-grown adult, capable of flying. Granted, the killdeer's thing to protect its nest is it runs around and acts like its wings broke to pull or to get predators away from it. Teeter, Lily, come here. And then, then it'll fly away. Well, what's this dumb thing doing? It's running around in front of the dogs, and then it realizes that the dogs are faster than it thinks they are, and they catch it, so it just lays down in front of them rather than flying away. It's like, you idiot. So anyhow, I'm dropping the nurse tank and my chemical here. That way I can just go home and grab the tractor, and everything will be down here. When I was talking about what I wanted to do when I bought another nurse tank on the last video, I had one idiot say, get a fire truck. Why? One, that would be another vehicle, the plate, license, insure, and then it's only good for one thing. And then why a maintenance nightmare like a freaking, no, that's stupid. But I don't want a tender truck, because again, I am most of the time a one-man operation, and when you've got a tank on a trailer, you can do this and bring all your stuff to the field and then take the pickup back and go get the tractor. If you got it on a truck, you either got to bring the truck here and then still have somebody give you a ride to go back and get the tractor, or you got to come here with the tractor and then hopefully have somebody back home to bring you the truck when you need it. This is a lot more convenient for somebody doing it by themselves. So that's why I want another tender trailer specifically for water. So anyhow, yeah, we should be set to go. So go get the 66, fuel it up, and get down here and get this done. And should have enough time today to get the sprayer cleaned out and switched over. Dang, she is loving them birds. But yeah, get the sprayer cleaned out and switched over to beans. So hopefully tomorrow we can start spraying beans, because now they're saying the rest of the week's supposed to be fairly calm. So, and I got beans that need sprayed bad. Well, I believe I'm finally getting on top of the ragweed that's down here, because by all rights, as long as this sat before I finally got down here to work it, as wet as, well, maybe being as wet as it was for as long as it was might have helped too. But I mean, by all rights, this ragweed should be a lot thicker. It's still kind of thick down on the other field, but we're hopefully gonna fix that. But we'll explain that when I'm mixing the next load. But anyway, I got probably like 35-40 gallon left in there. I'm gonna spray out, and then yeah, probably a little bit more than that. Then we'll mix up our last load for corn and go from there. Alright, I probably got about 3.5-4 acres done, which comes out about right. So one more full tank should get it, with just a touch left in the tank to have to get rid of somewhere. So I mentioned earlier, we're going to do something to hopefully curtail the ragweed down there, because usually I have residual failure down here every year and I have to respray, which is kind of a pain, because normally by the time things start sprouting again, the corn's about to canopy, so the respray is kind of hard because you can't get it to the ground. About the only way to do it and do a really good job would be to get drops so you can get the nozzles down below the canopy, but this sprayer is not really set up well for that. But what we're going to do this time around, my chem guy and I talked about it, and we're going to see what we can, if it'll work. We are going 100% full rate, or full yearly rate on the atrazine. Normally you wouldn't want to do that in one application, but because this is muck and it's got insanely high organic matter, which the higher your organic matter, the harder it is to get a residual to hang for a period of time. Like this dirt here is 45% organic matter, where normal organic matter is between like 2 and 5. So yeah, so we're gonna full rate on atrazine, which in this load is gonna be 12.5 gallon, where I've only been putting on 5, and that works. 5 gallon on a 200 gallon tank works perfectly fine on regular mineral soils. So that's what we're gonna do. That's why I got so much atrazine down here, and normal rate of Halex, and then this Oculus, which I don't know if I'm a fan of this Oculus. This is my first time using it. In years past, I've used a water conditioner called Request, which pours about like water. This is thicker. And I've noticed this year spraying corn, and I'm curious to see if I go to beans if it keeps doing it, because in beans, or on the bean mix, we're using a different conditioner adjuvant package called Smoke, which I've sprayed that before and never had this problem. But I've noticed I've been getting like slimy stuff in my nozzle screens, because I've got screens inside those to protect the tips from getting plugged. So it hasn't done it yet today, but it was doing it bad on Monday when I was spraying, and I had it do it a little bit to me on, what day did I spray last? Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. No, Saturday. Yeah, because it was the day I sprayed all day. Yeah, Saturday it did it to me a few times. It'll plug up the screens, and then you'll have a nozzle where the fan either gets narrow or just quits working completely, and you got to stop and clean it out, and then it works fine again. And the only thing different that I'm spraying this year on the corn that would make it do that is this. So I'm thinking next year I might go back to the Request, because I never had that issue when I was using the Request. But like I say, I'm curious to see if it keeps doing it with the bean mix, but I've sprayed that before and never had an issue. So that's the only different factor. So anyhow, let me get refilled here and we'll keep going. I ran out like 50 yards in off the tree line, so I got to run back up the row I was just on to clean that one up. Grandma's 10 up the road is done, so I just got this 13 here. So Probably another hour, not quite. Muck is all sprayed. I only had I ended up with like 2.5 gallon, maybe 3 gallon left in there. So I just took it back there in the corner and dumped it out because it wasn't enough to bother trying to save it, and didn't really have any other better place to put it. So there's a spot back there in the corner that didn't get planted that just kind of So anyhow, I'm gonna throw 100 gallon of water in it. That way it can agitate with clean water on the way home, and then when I get home I could dump a bottle of tank cleaner in it, and then it's got to agitate some more, and then I got to run it through the booms and everything and get it all cleaned out so that hopefully tomorrow we can switch to beans. So, and real quick, for those of you that have made it here to the end of the video, because usually not many people make it all the way to the end on long videos. It's not just my channel, it's all of them. Usually you get about halfway through and the viewership kind of... But two things I wanted to bring up. First, I noticed that the Floyd County Museum has they've had a YouTube channel page, but it's never really had anything on it. And I've noticed here in the last couple of weeks they've actually been putting up a few Oliver related historical videos, but not a very big channel, hasn't been getting a whole lot of views. So I figured this is my little plug for them, to let everybody know that the Floyd County Museum YouTube channel has been actively putting up videos. I haven't looked to see how many. I know they've put up at least 2 that I've seen. So if you want to support them, go check them out. I don't know what YouTube's monetization criteria is anymore. I know back when I started doing it that you had to have X amount, and I don't know what's changed. So I don't know if they're able to monetize their videos yet or not, but views help. So like I say, I'll put a link down so you don't got to go looking for it. I'll put a link down in the video description so you can go right to their page and go check them out and subscribe to them, and if that's something you're interested in. And second thing I wanted to talk about real quick, because I let that last load agitate a good long while because it had so much atrazine in it, so I wanted to get good and mixed before I started spraying. So I was sitting there reading comments and noticed another one. I've had several people, more than several, over like the last month and a half, tell me that there is another channel running around that has basically stolen my channel name. Same channel name, they just changed the tractor model. Doesn't matter who they are. I have no clue who the guy is. I have seen a few of his videos pop up in my recommendations, but I don't feel the need to watch them. Like I say, I have no idea who he is. My guess is one of two things, or a combination of two. Either A, he wasn't creative enough to come up with an original channel name on his own, so he just decided he would pilfer mine. Or B, he didn't want to have to put in the work to grow the channel, so he decided he would copy my channel name, because then YouTube automatically recognizes it as something related to mine, so he gets free video recommendations to people who watch my channel, because YouTube's gonna think because they watch mine they'll watch his, which you might, I don't know, he might make decent, I don't know, he might make decent he might make decent content, he might be worth watching, I don't know. I just, if you're gonna be, I'm a firm believer that if you want to do this, you need to work your way up through the ranks like I did. You don't need to be piggybacking off of somebody else's channel name. I'm not going to say my channel's a super huge success, because there are definitely a lot bigger and a lot better channels out there than mine. And mine has several factors that keep it from getting bigger, but I'm also not here trying to get it bigger. I do this for fun. I'm not trying to become famous. I'm not trying to turn it into a cash cow. I'm just here doing my thing, and the minute it stops being fun, I'll just stop doing it. It's not a super, despite the fact that I always have a camera out videoing this, it's not a super huge part of my life. And if I did stop videoing, it would make my life a shit ton easier, but I do it right now because I still have fun doing it and people still watch. So as long as I still have fun doing it, and as long as people keep watching, I'll keep doing it. If either one of those things fades, then la-di-da, I can go back to getting more done, because I don't have to carry a camera around all the time. So anyhow, like I say, I am aware that that other guy has taken my channel name. Is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. I really don't care. But you don't got to keep telling me, because like I say, I am aware. Like I say, it's kind of a, I'm not going to say shady thing to do, because it's the internet, everything's free, you know, but what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for, and I can't think of it right now. It's not shady. Lazy, I guess. It's not the word, but that's the one that's coming. That's one that's rolling off my tongue right now. Kind of a lazy way to do it, piggybacking off of somebody else's success, if you want to call my little thing I got going here. But anyhow, I'm gonna get some water in this thing, and I'm gonna call Dad and see if he can run down with my truck and grab the tank. That way I don't gotta try to come back. And I'm gonna hopefully get the sprayer all cleaned out tonight, so that we can go work on beans. And to tell you the truth, I got some beans that are dirty enough that I honestly don't even want to show them on video. And then I drive around and see everybody else that has beans that are as dirty or dirtier than mine, because everybody's behind right now, and it's like, everybody's in the same boat. I don't feel so bad about it. So I mean, I still feel bad about it, because I don't like to see my beans like that. Normally I'm a little bit better at keeping them clean, but this year has been less than ideal all the way around. So next year I'm going to make some changes. Next year, the biggest thing that held me back from ordering all my chemical several weeks ago this year was because I didn't know what acres were going to get switched to beans. What I should have done was just ordered what I had planted, enough for what I had, or knew I was going to get planted to corn. And then if I needed to get more, once I got everything done planted, I could have got more. But next year I'm going to order chemical like at least halfway through planting season. That way, if I get a rain day and I can't plant, chances are, just because I can't plant doesn't mean I can't go spray. So if I get a day where I can't plant, I can go spray pre-emerge or whatever and try to get, because I need to get better at that. It's just always been, time has never been on my side, but I'm working towards it. So anyhow, I'm gonna get things situated here and call her a night. So with that being said, that's it for this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Pretty nice evening, I tell you what. Just hotter than the blazes.